The next thing we need to learn is how to solve our or inequalities. Well, the solving process is exactly the same as solving an and compound inequality. Solve the first inequality. So I'm going to look at the one on the left, adding 5 to both sides. I get 7v greater than or equal to 70. Dividing both sides by a positive 7, so I don't have to flip my inequality. I get v is greater than or equal to 10. Solving the second inequality, adding 2 to both sides. Negative 3v is greater than or equal to 0. My negative 2 and positive 2 cancel on both sides. Dividing by a negative 3, so I do need to flip my inequality this time. And 0 divided by negative 3 is 0. So I've got v is less than or equal to 0. And then we graph both. Setting up our number line, we need 0 and 10 on it. Both closed circles because both of them are or equal to's. V is greater than or equal to 10, so greater than shades to the right. And v is less than or equal to 0, so that shades to the left. Solving my first inequality, I am going to combine like terms. I've got n's on both sides, so I'm going to move the n with the smaller coefficient, and that will make sure that I don't have a negative to divide by. So we've got 2 is less than negative 2 plus 4n, adding 2 to both sides. 4 is less than 4n, and I want to divide by a positive 4. I can leave my inequality alone. Solving the one on the right, again, I've got variables on both sides, so I'm going to move the one with the smaller coefficient again. This time I get 5n minus 4 less than or equal to negative 4. Don't drop that negative sign. Adding 4 to both sides. My negative 4 and positive 4 cancel on both sides, but don't forget that it cancels to 0. You still need something on the other side of the inequality. Dividing both sides this time by a positive. My inequality stays the same, less than or equal to. So setting up my graph, making sure 0 and 1 both fit. I have n is greater than, remember read these backwards when the variable is on the right, n is greater than 1, so I'm shading to the right. N is less than or equal to, so closed circle, shaded to the left. Next, we're going to look at some special solutions. So the process for solving these special solutions is the same as the process for solving your regular inequalities. So solve the first and then solve the second. First one, I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides. So I get 2y is less than 6. Dividing both sides by 2, y is less than 3. Second inequality, adding 2 to both sides. Negative 3y is less than or equal to 12. And this time I'm dividing by a negative, so I will flip my inequality. And then when I go to graph these on my number line, making sure that 3 and negative 4 are in the right order. Y is greater than 3, so I'm shading to the right. And y is greater than or equal to negative 4. So I'm going to close my circle. And when I'm shading greater than, I'm actually going to end up filling in my other circle. Because if I, for example, say y equals 3, is 3 less than 3, or is 3 greater than or equal to negative 4? It makes my second inequality true, so the entire compound inequality is true. So 3 is now a solution to my compound inequality. And switching gears, we're going to look at a special solution for an and compound inequality. Same process, we're going to solve them each. So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. Don't lose the negative in front of your 4. And because I'm dividing by a negative, my inequality will flip. X is greater than negative 5. Second inequality, subtracting 2 from both sides. Dividing by a positive 5, my inequality does not flip. And I have x is greater than negative 5, and x is greater than or equal to 4. So when I'm setting up my number line, -5 is down here, 4 is off to the right, open circle at -5, closed circle at -4. Remember, with the and, this is where you need to use the arrows. You only shade where they are both true. So x is greater than -5 shades to the right. X is greater than or equal to -4 also shades to the right. The only place where both arrows are pointing is greater than or equal to -4. And here are a few U-try problems for you.